So if you've searched for hot sauce, then there's probably a chance that the company Truff has targeted you on advertising on Facebook or Instagram or just about anywhere. Truff is a hot sauce. It's supposed to be like a high-end hot sauce that's infused with black truffles. So I went out and tried it, and I thought it was pretty good. I looked at the ingredients lists, and there's no actual black truffles in it, but they do infuse their own olive oil with black truffles. And luckily, we have a local olive oil shop that does all their own infusing, and they use real black truffles. So I thought, let's try to make our own truffle infused hot sauce. So the Truff hot sauce really isn't that expensive, and it's pretty good. It is honestly pretty good. It's only like 16, 17 bucks a bottle. So if you want to give it a shot, I'll leave a link in the description below. So I used their ingredients list to come up with what I thought would be a basic recipe to make this Truff hot sauce. Now I took away a few things because it just didn't seem like they were completely necessary, and I actually added a little bit just to try to give a little bit more of that truffle taste to it. So here it is. All you need is 1 pound of red chili peppers, 3 habanero peppers, simply because Truff really isn't that hot, so I wanted to give it a little bit extra heat, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of olive oil infused with black truffles, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum for thickener, and then 1/2 teaspoon of organic cumin. Now I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of black truffle pate. I don't think you're gonna need this, but I do think it's gonna add just a little bit of extra truffle taste to it. Now the truffle pate only has like 10% truffle in it. There's a few other like mushrooms in here, and yeah, the champagne mushroom, a porcini mushroom, sunflower oil, and then black truffle. Only 10% of this whole thing is black truffles, which makes sense because this whole jar was $17. If that was all black truffles, this would be probably a $50, $60 jar. I do think it's gonna add just that extra bit, and like I said, I'm only adding a little bit. And then lastly, we have 2 cups of white distilled vinegar. Let's get started. First thing, we're gonna chop up all of the peppers and mince the garlic. So with all pepper related videos, again, I'm wearing gloves. Always wear gloves when dealing with hot peppers, really of any heat. These aren't super hot. These are like just a basic grocery store red chili, and I don't want it on my hands. I just want to make a nice hot sauce. So now that these guys are all chopped up, the first thing that we're gonna do on like a low heat is we're gonna add most of the olive oil, save a pinch for the end, and let's drop in the garlic. So now that we've got the garlic in the oil, we're gonna let it soften up, simmer real low for just a minute before we add the peppers. Okay, that garlic's looking awesome. Let's start adding these peppers. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. So these guys have softened up quite a bit. I'm gonna add the rest of this oil and the 2 cups of vinegar. Okay, so this has been simmering together for about 5 minutes. All of the peppers are nice and soft. Everything looks like it's gonna be pretty well combined and easily to blend up. So we're gonna turn this off. I'm gonna add about another teaspoon of the black truffle infused olive oil. And then I'm gonna cover it up and let this guy cool down for about the next 20, 30 minutes or so. We want it cool enough to be able to blend and not cause any explosions. So let this guy cool. We'll be right back. Okay, so this is all cooled down. It's still warm. It's not room temperature, but it's cooled plenty enough to throw in a blender. So at this point, we're just gonna move everything over here. Gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of the truffle pate. And we're just gonna blend this up very smooth. So at this point, I just wanna give it a taste because I wanna see where we're at. I know that the Truff hot sauce is a very sweet sauce with that very distinct truffle taste to it. Ooh, that's hot. So we're gonna add an extra 1/2 teaspoon of the black truffle. Now in the original, they use an agave. I'm just gonna use honey, and I'm gonna add a teaspoon of honey. The honey wasn't in my original ingredients list because I really thought that the sugar that was added would be enough originally, but it wasn't. So we're just gonna blend this up for another second with the honey and the extra black truffle. Okay, I believe this has blended up enough. I'm gonna add a wire mesh strainer, and we're just gonna let this strain through. Now the great thing is you could take this pepper mash, what's left after you're making the hot sauce, and dehydrate that for a great extra seasoning. After tasting this, we know that the thickness isn't right for the truff. This is hotter than truff. We're gonna take care of the thickness with the xanthan gum. It still doesn't have enough of the truff taste to it. So we're gonna pour this back in the blender, and I'm gonna make a mixture of another teaspoon of truffle oil, do just a pinch more of the vinegar, and then the xanthan gum. We're just gonna get that going now and stir it in. And since it needs to be quite a bit sweeter, I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of honey. And let's blend this guy up again. Thickness is already quite a bit better. We might go just a hair thicker on that. Okay, I think we now have the desired thickness. It smells a little bit more like truffle. I'm gonna run it through the strainer one more time. So that's it. That is our homemade truff. It's about the thickness that we wanted it. Now, regular truff that you buy is gonna be very red. They use some coloring, for it. We're not gonna use that coloring. We're just gonna bottle it right up. And to bottle this, I literally just have a turkey baster. We're gonna suck that thing full and then squeeze it right into the bottles. There we go, your own homemade truff hot sauce. Now this is gonna be a little bit hotter than what they sell in the store for truff. Truff really isn't that hot, it's more sweet than anything. But this is a nice, hot, sweet, subtle truffle taste that is honestly pretty delicious. Oh yeah, that is good. That is good, that'll be good on eggs. It's gonna be good on a lot. I hope you guys like this one. These people right here are the people that support me at patreon.com/SauceStache. And that's it, truffle hot sauce. Thanks for watching. I hope you really liked that one. You can click here to subscribe or click here to join me on Patreon. You can also click this video right here. This is the one that YouTube thinks you'll like.